Hey guys, I am sick again, so I'm going to make a quick guide on Swarm, the Desert Tier 1 challenge. As always, for Desert Tier 1 challenges, you don't want any boss difficulty because, one, it's going to waste your time, and then two, even if you get insane legendary items out of those chests, the risk you're taking by adding difficulty for Anubis to have 2 or 6 of those red beams and just murder you is a little too much. So I don't think it's really worth it on tier 1. For double the enemy amount, it's actually a bonus for us because it's just doubling the quantity of enemies without increasing their HP. They do get a little bit faster, but you can pretty much ignore that if you know how to bunny hop. Otherwise, you just build enough damage that you don't have to move if you don't want to. And yeah, we're gonna use Amog for this because if there's double the enemies, why not use Plague? And what Plague does, if you don't know, if you throw that poison flask or you hit an enemy with your cheese and it procs, or moldy gloves, or whatever poisons them, that will make them explode on death if they're still poisoned when they die. And then when that spreads to enemies, it will poison them, and then if they die while they're poisoned, then they explode, and then it will just kill like huge swarms of enemies, and you'll get a bunch of XP all the time. And when there is actual swarms in the game, this will make you survive pretty much everything, as long as you could kill 1 or 2 enemies. Alright, so if you have 4 weapons, you're going to be using Poison, Aura, Banana, Katana, and that order is how you're going to drop them off if you don't have 4 weapons. So Aura would be your second, then Banana, and then Katana's last, because this is a tier 1 run, so you're not going to have time to level Katana up much. For the tomes, it's size, damage, attraction, and the 4th one you can pick whatever, but I just usually use luck. XP is okay. I don't think you'll have much time to scale it, which is why I don't really pick it. For items, we basically just want as much cheese as we can get, and as much moldy gloves and unstable transfusions as we can get. Everything else is kind of whatever. If we get it, it helps. If we don't, then it doesn't. And the toggle list is just to make sure we're getting items that actually help us. Alright, to explain the thought process, I'll explain poison first. So if we throw a poison flask on somebody and they're poisoned, and then we hit them with a banana and they get poisoned by moldy cheese or whatever with the banana, then those poisons, however long their duration overlaps, they're going to be doing like an increased magnitude of poison damage. So for us, that means we need to hit them as many times as we can in the shortest amount of time as possible, or hit them with really hard hits. And then I chose the hard hits, that's why we're using damage tome. So you'll see, like with the banana, if you hit a boss with a banana, it's gonna just chunk their health down with poison, and if you hit them again, then that poison damage is just going to be more every time it ticks, and then they'll die really fast after that. For Aura, the reason why we picked that is it's going to hit in every direction, so when you're getting swarmed and all that stuff, this is going to be proccing moldy gloves and moldy cheese all over the place around you, and then that's going to kill them, and then proc Plague, which will re-proc poison on all the other enemies around us. And that just keeps like the base amount of poison on everybody taken away. For Katana, that's kind of like our bonus weapon. And the reason is, if you're running in some direction, the Katana is going to kill anything in front of you because you're running at it, and they're going to be the closest enemy as you run towards them. So that kind of like clears a path for you, and it does a lot of damage even though it's going to be a short run, so it will pretty much kill anything as you're walking that way. The only exception is sometimes there will be roller guys and they're a lot faster. So sometimes they'll get behind you and it will try to attack them and then you might run into somebody. So just be careful of that. Explanation for the tomes. Size buffs every single one of these weapons to a crazy amount, and with Amog, you kind of have to use size because size increases his poison flash throw distance, like how far the enemy will be when he decides to throw those, and then how far he can throw it, of course. And then it also increases the explosion size when it does land. And I'm pretty sure it also increases Amog's plague explosion size. So when you kill them and it poisons other nearby enemies. For the damage tome, I chose that because, like I said, we're trying to do heavy hits so that the poison magnitude goes up really, really high, really, really fast. And then that's our DPS just going up to the moon. For attraction tome, I sort of explained it, but it's like a built-in magnet. So everything on the screen, if you level up attraction tome, this is like one of your priority things to level up. It will just pull up all the XP, all the gold that gets spawned on the map once you get it big enough. And then once you notice like most of your screen is getting pulled up, then you could stop leveling it and just level other things. And by that time you'll be killing so many things that the amount of XP you're getting, these things will passively get leveled. For the luck tome, it's just kind of a bonus. If you just want to get it done, I would actually recommend you drop this and just do cooldown or quantity. That will make it so you basically just max out the poison stacks and their magnitude, and then you won't have any trouble completing this. Alright, and then a real brief explanation of the items that people might question. So Demonic Blade, it's not needed, but it's just a bonus that if you need the healing, you'll just get the healing. Brass Knuckles, that really, really helps because it just recently got changed to be multiplicative, if I'm not mistaken. And that means when people get too close to you and Katana targets them, Katana is going to do a bunch more damage. And then on top of that, the Poison Flask and everything else will start doing more damage, like Aura, if they get close to you. And that will keep that kind of little empty space around you so that nothing can touch you. The reason you use a gas mask, this is like one of the best items in the game, I'm pretty sure. A lot of people think it's garbage and they disable it, but it enables overheal. So naturally, like if something says you lifesteal, or like Holy Book says when you're healing, a lot of people try to do like Leech and Crystal. If you get 3 of these, then you'll have negative regen and then you could heal on top of that or whatever. But with Gas Mask, you could just overheal. And then there's degrees of overheal. I haven't figured out the math behind that yet, because it just says like overheal 1, overheal 2, etc. But because it allows you to overheal, then you can utilize Holy Book even at full health and some other stuff like that. And then it also gives you survivability with the armor. So if you get poisoned or hit by the boss, this will keep you up. And if you have a decent amount of lifesteal from like shrines, like 10-20%. I haven't confirmed it fully, but from playing Amog a decent amount, I'm pretty sure poison ticks, like the individual tick of poison, can trigger lifesteal. So yeah, if you have a decent amount of lifesteal, you'll just be healing like crazy amounts. Toxic barrel is just a bonus. You can actually disable it if you want to get more of these or more of the other items. I just added it because it's nice to have when things do touch you. It kind of just insta kills them, at least in this tier 1 run. And then what else would people question? The reason Joe's dagger, anvil, and all these are disabled is because I don't think you'd have enough time where this would be useful. Like, you're not going to get enough executes in tier 1 desert. The anvil is kind of whatever. Like, if you had the choice of getting an anvil or a soul harvester, you would want the soul harvester because this is just a tier 1 run. Dragonfire is okay. The reason I chose that is the same reason as this is the individual ticks of poison can trigger this. And then this we disable because we have the pickup tome. And then everything else I think is pretty self-explanatory. I recorded the whole swarm game and I'll upload it on my throwaway channel. I'll link it in the description and you can check it out if you want. There's a few tips I gave in there. I talked during the gameplay, but if you just want the most important ones, you basically sit at the beginning when you spawn in, run around in a circle and kill them all. That will give you enough XP to get at least one weapon probably, or more, and maybe a tome. And then from there at like 9 or 8 minutes you just run around the map looking for things to grab. Once you find the boss shrine, you just sit there, camp there. The reason you camp there is so that you get power-ups, and then that can help you with the boss too if you're still having trouble. Otherwise you can just run around the map grabbing everything. And that's all. Have a good day. Hope you enjoyed the guide. I'll make a few more and make them a little bit better than this one. Bye.